Hello, dear students. My name is Mr. Vikram Nalavade. I am from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I am working at SITCOE, Yadra, Itsalkanji. In today's lecture of Automobile Engineering, we will cover unit number 3, that is transmission system, in which we will focus on gearboxes, its types of gear transmission system. Generally, gearboxes are necessary to regulate both the power output and speed range of engine relative to the vehicle speed. So we will discuss about the introductory part of the gearboxes. As we all know that transmission system or gearbox provides speed and torque conversion from a rotating power source to another device using gear ratio, including for a motor vehicle partly because of the limitations of internal combustion engines. The need for the gearbox unit in an automobile is due to some of the characteristics. Like IC engine operates over a range of 600 to about 6000 revolutions per minute. As I told, that the range of IC engine operates over a range of 6000 to 6 600 to 6000 revolution per minute, whereas the car wheel rotate about 0 and around 1800 revolutions per minute. Secondly, the engine provides its highest torque and power output unevenly across the revolution range, resulting in torque band and the power band. Thirdly, the dynamics of a car vary with speed. When moving at low speeds, the acceleration is limited by inertia of vehicular gross mass. The wind resistance becomes the dominant barrier when the vehicle is at cruising or maximum speeds. So, as it is mentioned here, usually found near motors of some sort, gearboxes are used to reduce the load on the motor by using of motor's own momentum to keep it turning. So this is the main part, that how that load can be reduced. Once a motor has reached a number of revolution per minute, it is advisable for the operator to increase the gear, because at the first gear the torque is very maximum and speed is very lesser, and as the speed is increasing the gear number also increases, torque is reduced and the speed is increasing to drop the revolution on the motor yet still keep the same amount of power created. Then this reduces wear on the engine, allows more control, and allows more greater speeds. So now let's discuss about the gearbox principle, as we have some idea about the various components of an automobile. So I will focus on these parts, then after we will discuss. So here you see, this is the part of the engine where power is developed by combustion of the fuel inside the cylinder. So this is the 4-cylinder engine in which power is developed. This is the crankshaft which is rotated, and simultaneously it is connected with the intermediate part in between engine as well as the transmission system. Here is the clutch and flywheel mechanism. So as the pedal is operated, then it engages and disengages the connection between engine and transmission system. So this is the part which is used to engage engine with this transmission system as well as disconnects. And then these are the number of gears you are observing, that all are in connection with the gear connected with the clutch shaft, means it is coming from the driving shaft. And here this is another shaft over which number of gears are mounted along with the dog clutches. So this is how the gears are used to transmit motion from engine part to the driving wheel. So here we are discussing about gearbox principle. Here it is mentioned that if the input shaft means this is the main shaft, is connected to the small cog, the output shaft, this is the output shaft, is connected to a large, and two are meshed together in the gearbox. Then it will take several turns of the input shaft to make the output turn once. This principle is used to achieve speed or torque conversion in the gearbox. Then there are some types of gearboxes. This is the sliding mesh gearbox, then constant mesh gearbox, synchro mesh gearbox, and epicyclic gearbox. Now here you see one thing, that an engine may consist of one or more gearboxes, in which are the mixture of these types. So all these type of gearboxes are very important. In some of the engines more than one gearbox can also be used. Now we will focus on the construction of sliding mesh gearbox. As we have discussed in previous slide about the gearbox mechanism, in animation I will tell the name of the components in this type of gearbox. See, this is the clutch shaft, or this is also called input shaft, which is directly connected with the crankshaft, means power source, from where driving shaft is connected with the input shaft. Then here this shaft is called spline main shaft, or it is also called the output shaft. This is the lay shaft. This is also called the counter shaft. Here counter shaft gear is connected with the gear mounted on the clutch shaft. Now this is the idler gear. Then this is the first and reverse gear. You get to know about it. You understand this is the first gear and reverse gear. This is the second gear and the third gear, the entire combination. Yes. So over which we will discuss. So here the clutch shaft is connected to the engine output and rotates when the engine rotates. A gear is mounted on the clutch shaft, which is connected with a gear of lay shaft. This is the lay shaft. Again I will tell you, this is the input shaft, this is the main shaft, and this is the lay shaft. The lay shaft has several number of gears, one of which is connected to gear of clutch shaft, and other gears connect with the different gears of main shaft to obtain different gear ratios. Also, one gear in lay shaft is reverse gear and has, this is a first gear, as we have discussed earlier. Means also one gear is lay shaft is reverse gear and has an idler gear, which is placed between the lay shaft gear and the main shaft gear when operated. The main shaft has several number of gears, and these gears can slide over the main shaft to mesh with different gears of main shaft. Now we will discuss the working of sliding mesh gearbox. Here we have discussed about this image, which describes the arrangement of the shafts of clutch, main shaft, and lay shaft, over which number of gears are mentioned. So at first the clutch shaft is driven by the engine. This shaft is driven by the engine. It carries the engine output and rotates in the same direction as that of engine. The gear connected to the clutch shaft also rotates. As gear of clutch shaft rotates, this one, the lay shaft gear which is connected to the gear shaft gear also rotates, but in opposite direction. So the lay shaft rotates due to rotation of lay shaft gear. This is rigidly fixed in the lay shaft. Due to the rotation of the lay shaft, other gears of lay shaft also rotates, as all the gears in the lay shaft are rigidly fixed, including the reverse gears. The gears of the main shaft are internally splined, and the main shaft is also splined, so the gears of main shaft can slide over it. The gear of main shaft are shifted and meshed with different gears of the lay shaft to obtain different gear ratio required to face different road problems. So now here in this slide we will discuss about different number of gears, what are their applications and characteristics. So first of all, you just observe how these gears are slidingly meshing over each other. So this is the gear number 1 here, and how these are connected, how these are sliding over each other, you just observe here. See how the power is getting transmitted from one gear to another while that sliding takes place. Now this is the first gear. The direction of the gears when we apply through the lever, these are mentioned. The reverse gear is in the extreme left. Then after first gear, in same line but in opposite direction, there is second gear, and slidingly there is third gear in upper direction. In same line but in opposite direction, there is the fourth gear. This is represented by this one. So here we will discuss about the first gear positions here. As it is mentioned, the first gear is used at the time when vehicle starts its movement in the forward direction. Power transmission from the clutch shaft to lay shaft takes place via clutch and drive gear that rotates the counter shaft in a direction opposite to that of clutch shaft. So has low speed high acceleration, means the torque is very higher but speed is very less. At that moment the torque has to be increased to give a motion to the vehicle. Then second gear, that is obtained when second larger gear of the second smallest gear of the lead shaft meshes with middle size gear of the main shaft. Second gear provides lower torque and higher speed than the first gear. So torque is slightly lesser as compared to first gear, but speed is more if we compare it with the first gear. The operation of the gear shift lever is such that there is disengagement of gear of the main shaft from gear on the counter shaft. The gear of the main shaft meshes with gear on the counter shaft. Now we will discuss gear number 3 and 4. The mechanism is almost similar, but the speed ratios are different, and that meshes with different number of gears as compared to the first and second gears. So third gear is the last gear or top gear of the sliding mesh gear box. This gear is obtained when biggest gear of lay shaft meshes with smallest gear of the main shaft. This gear provides maximum speed and minimum power. So less acceleration but speed is higher. And in the case of reverse gear, it is used when the vehicle needs to move in the opposite direction. So that mechanism is shown here. As we have discussed the position of reverse gear at the left corner. So in this manner that reverse gear can be demonstrated. First of all, let's discuss about its theory part. That vehicle needs to move in the opposite direction, then reverse gear is used. In this gear, rotation of the output shaft means here this is the shaft at the upper level. Our main shaft is reversed by placing an idler gear between the lay shaft gear and the main shaft gear, which changes the direction of rotation of the output shaft. Now let's discuss about the advantages of sliding mesh gear. Since only one gear is in mesh in sliding mesh gearbox, so the fluctuating load on the shaft is less, that is causing very lesser amount of vibration and noise, unlike the constant mesh gearbox in which all gears are in constant mesh. So its efficiency is more that than constant gearbox, as only one gear is in mesh, unlike the constant mesh gearbox in which all gears are in constant mesh. Thirdly, this is third one and this is fourth one. So its manufacturing is easy as compared to the constant mesh gearbox. And fourthly is its mechanism is very simple. Now let's discuss about some of the drawbacks and disadvantages of sliding mesh gearbox. First is only spur gear can be used, as gears are not in constant mesh like gearbox in which helical or herringbone gears can be used. Then more effort is required to engage the gear, as the gear has to be slided in sliding mesh gearbox, unlike constant mesh gearbox where only dog clutch has to be slided for engagement of different gears. Then less life of gear, as more wear and tear of gear is caused in sliding mesh gearbox due to the friction. Then fourth one we will discuss here. It takes more in the fourth type of drawback or disadvantage of sliding mesh gearbox. It takes more time and money to replace the gears if the gearbox fails, but in constant mesh gearbox only dog clutches are to be replaced at failure, which takes less time and money. So this is a little bit comparison of sliding mesh gearbox with the constant mesh gearbox. So this is all about the transmission system. We'll discuss various applications of the sliding mesh gearbox. It is used in Alpha 12 horsepower with the 4-speed manual transmission. It is also used in Fiat 6 horsepower 3-speed manual transmission, and it's used in Mercedes 35 horsepower engine. So for today's lecture we have discussed sliding mesh gearbox, its applications, advantages and disadvantages, its working principle and various features. I hope you have understood the concept and we can apply this knowledge practically as well. Thank you so much.